こんにちは。イヤホンヘッドホン専門店イヤホンの浜ちゃんです。今beyerdynamicの本社に来ておりまして緊張しております。現 CEO のアンディさんにお越しいただいております。すみません、簡単に日本の、オーディオファンに向けて、挨拶をお願いします。
Hi to all the people in Japan and all the good customers of beyerdynamic。
本当に簡単にこの経歴というか、こういうことをしてきて今beyerdynamicの社長をやってるんだよっていうふうな話をいただいていいですか。
So my name is Andy. I'm at beyerdynamic since 2 months now, and I've started my career 30 years ago in a company Harman International with the brands Harman Kardon and JBL. Then I went from Harman International to beyerdynamic 20 years ago, first time, and after that I worked 8 years for Sonos, a startup company from US, building up a multi-room system. And then I joined a company called Liberton, where we also did multi-room systems. And the last 5 years I worked for Chopra, VP for EMEA. And now I joined again beyerdynamic as the CEO, and looking forward for the next nice milestones we are doing together, hopefully.
2024年にbeyerdynamicが100周年を迎えます。おめでとうございます。その100周年の節目に何かアクションを起こしたりしますか？
So I think we will definitely bring up some new products for this, let's say, celebration. I'm sure we will also do some special marketing things. And yeah, but I cannot say more because it will be a surprise. And but you can expect a lot of nice things from us next year. And it is really a very big story because there are not many companies who can celebrate 100 years in our business. And we can do it, and we are really proud of it. Thank you.
では最後に、日本のbeyerdynamicファンのみんな、僕も含めてですけど、メッセージをいただけると嬉しいです。
Yeah, so please stay with us, and we will always try to even do our next product generation better, but also give us your feedback in all the social channels you can use, because we are really interested to hear all your feedback and also to improve ourselves. And let's stay in contact in all the channels we can use, social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Send us your meaning, your experience, because we want to really hear what is the end user thinking of us and what we can do better.
ゲーミング製品についてなんですけど、僕自身はbeyerdynamicといえばやっぱりそのオーディオファイル向けのその高音質なヘッドホンを作ってるブランドっていうイメージがすごく強かったんですけど、ゲーミング製品を出していこうというか、その作っていこうっていうふうに思ったそのタイミングというか、今どういうふうなその戦略でゲーミング関係のことを作られてるのかなと思って聞いてみたかったです。
What we want to do is definitely in the gaming world that the people see us as a real professional product. So as you know, there are many brands in this gaming industry. They are really, I would say, most of the products are really fancy. That means a lot of lights and other animations on it. Our products are down to earth. It's more about quality. It's more about audio and microphone quality for the real, I would say, mid to professional gamer. But we will also have in the future products for the mass market, which is important, but still focused on sound and microphones, and less on special colors or I don't know what many companies are doing at the moment. It's a very, I would say, down to earth product, but you can expect for all our products a high quality in the details, and I think that's the main focus at the end of the day for a gamer as well.
僕はその基本的にイヤホンとヘッドホンのことに関しては割と知っていたつもりなんですけど、ゲーミングヘッドセットに関してはあんまり知識がなかったので、今回を機にbeyerdynamicの製品の魅力をしっかり学んでいこうと思います。
Yeah. We can also show you later on the customized products where end users can do it on our online shop.
はい、というわけで貴重なお話を聞かせていただきました。100周年を機にbeyerdynamicに何が起こるのか注目していきたいと思います。それでは、 ご覧いただきありがとうございます。今ですね、ピザ食べながら喋ろうやっていうふうに言われてピザを出してもらったんですけど、僕ちょっと緊張して食べれないんで、喋ってからいただこうかと思います。そして、喋っていただくのはbeyerdynamicの、プロダクトマネージャーのクラウスさんです。すみません、自己紹介をお願いします。
こんにちは、earphone fans. Welcome to beyerdynamic. My name is Klaus. I'm one of a number of product managers here in the company. I'm responsible for the enjoyment mobile segment, which is the products that everybody of us could use, including such audiophile products like we see them today for the Xelento.
今目の前にここに Xelento があるんですけど、これはやっぱり今一番の一押しが Xelento ということですか？
Indeed, the Xelento is our flagship product for earphones. We're particularly proud because it's a second generation. Already in the first generation, I believe we left some footprint in the market and it was loved throughout the world. And now for second generation, we made many improvements and we think we are on par with a very competitive landscape and glad to having brought out this product in last October.
前作というか、エクセレントの、ファーストのジェネレーションもその前の世代も僕たちイヤホンでは販売して、自信を持ってお客さんにおすすめしてるんですけど、このセカンドジェネレーションになってからいろいろたくさん改良されたと思うんですけど、ポイントを挙げるとしたらどこの部分が改良されたというふうに挙げるとしたらどれか1ポイントお願いしたいです。
So congratulations for selling the Xelento first generation well. We hope you can continue with second generation. If I have to find one thing, it will be really the sound quality again. So we made a deep research about what the customers loved and kept that. And we try to find out what it was, what we could still improve. So we made adjustments in all three regions: bass, mid-range and treble. And I can explain more deeply if they're interested in what we precisely did.
あれですね、完全にもうほぼ別物と言っていいほどのそのサウンドの進化なんでしょうか。どうです？
So, as I explained, there were many things that were really a lot appreciated for first generation. So we wanted to keep what was great. And we went from that and took it one step further. For example, the mid-range. It was already very clean and very good, but we managed to narrow down the tolerances between the peaks and dips to only, I believe, 25% of what was it before. So it's super flat in the mid-range. This is one thing. And if we speak about sound quality, it's also about the treble range. Treble is always very tricky, especially if you have only one single dynamic driver. So we managed to keep the energy of the high frequency, but we also managed to make it more flat. So it will still sound very crisp and very transparent, but still we have a lot of energy there so that you can hear all the small details in the music. And to complete that, also the bass response was improved. The bass response is now, we managed to integrate it better to the overall sound response, and we make sure that the low mids were not too loud. So we think that the overall sound is a lot improved as compared with first generation, but that people who loved first generation still will go for the Xelento too.
僕が持ってたのはそれより前のアステランダケルンとコラボレーションした時のやつは所有はしてたんですよ。でその後まだ1世代超えて手に入ってないんでこれをしっかり聞くことっていうのがすごく楽しみです。このイヤホンで何を聞くのが一番気持ちいいですか？
So if you pick some sort of music, if you listen to this Xelento earphone, what would you listen?
おすすめを聞きたい。
What was your recommendation?
That's a very good question, because music is always personal taste, but it's also actually really about quality, especially of the recording. So I'm a trained audio engineer in the beginning, so I would recommend one piece, and this is Philippe Jarouski. He is from France and he is a countertenor singer, and he has one album with Vivaldi music. this is the best.
素晴らしい。きっと多分日本のベイヤーダイナミックファンの皆さんも同じ音源で聞いてみたいんじゃないかなというふうに思います。
He thinks all the beyerdynamic fans in Japan would love to listen to the same the music source through this.
Yeah, it will be a pleasure for you to provide a small playlist that we used for tuning the Xelento second generation. We can provide it to you so that the users can stream these songs.
パブリックオープンではないんですけれども、ご提供させていただいているので、ユーザーの方はぜひ聞いてみていただければ。
工場見学の動画たくさん撮らせてもらっておりますので、そちらも合わせてご参考になさってください。そして、今プロダクトマネージャーのグンターさんに来ていただいてます。Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. こんにちは。私はグンターです。So I'm product manager here at beyerdynamic, responsible for the enjoyment home portfolio and up to our flagship headphones T1. Well, I've been working with beyerdynamic for nearly 22 years right now. So I was studying electronics, especially acoustics. And so it was a perfect match to come here to beyerdynamic at that time. And I was working in R&D department the first couple of years. And then did some other jobs in between, but now I'm product manager since 8-9 years roundabout.
グンターさんが初めて携わったベイヤーダイナミックの製品は何ですか？
The first product, I think it was a DT880. Because DT880 was very famous in the 1980s. But then in the 1990s, we stopped production of DT880. But in 2003, we did some kind of revitalization of that kind of product. And so, yeah, we made it with a very neutral kind of sound signature. And I was doing the sound tuning by myself. And so I really know, I think it was the first product I was really glad to launch into the market because of the sound. And we have learned a lot of the very positive feedbacks we got from the market, from very satisfied customers. And so it was showing us that we are moving in the right direction.
今までグンターさんが関わってきたベイヤーダイナミックの製品ってどれだけたくさんあるんでしょうか？
Frankly speaking, I cannot count them.
ものすごく多いですか？
No, because it's not only that I have launched the products personally, but I was always working with colleagues together, and it was our common job to do this together. And so it's not a matter of me personally, but it's the company itself. But really, I cannot count the number of products right at the moment. I have to make some list or so remembrance, but not right now.
というとやっぱりその T1 もそうですか？そうですよね。
T1 is also one of your.
Yes, that's right.
T1 といえばやっぱりベイヤーダイナミックの今のヘッドホンのフラッグシップといえば T1 ってお間違いないですか？ T1 というヘッドホンって、僕たちイヤホンもそうですけど、お客様の中でも一個高級ヘッドホンの象徴になっている製品かなと思うんですよね。ヘッドホンのハイエンドヘッドホンのアイコニックな、存在の T1 はどういう経緯で制作されたのかなっていう風なお話など伺えたら。
Then let's go back a couple of years. We started with T1 in 2009. And yeah, the experience that we made before, our most expensive headphone was DT880, 990 in the €300 price range. But then we were thinking by ourselves, okay, we just could do even much more and jump up in the price range to €1,000 because we are developing all the drivers, all the internal parts by ourselves here in Heilbronn. And we have a huge R&D department, a lot of acoustic, mechanic, electronic engineers, designers as well. We are doing the in-house design here, software engineers as well. And so we have all the capabilities we need to make a headphone in the real high-end category. And so we put all our efforts together, developing a new driver at the time. We called it Tesla driver. Maybe you've heard about it. It was very positive in the mind of our users because Tesla, the big automobile company, was already starting that time, and so they were pushing us. It was unintentionally from our side, but Tesla is just a name, like I think Croatian name or a Serbian name or so. And he was responsible for very big coils and magnetic fields and so on and so on. And we took this name because our driver was the first that exceeded even 1 Tesla of magnetic flux density in the air gap where the voice coil is located. And so we took this name. It is our Tesla technology. The first headphone we put it in was the T1 first generation in 2009. Then we see it was a big success, and we came up in 2015 with T1 second generation. The appearance was quite similar to the first generation, but we did some kind of sound tuning because with the new drivers we made some experiences in the market, got lots of feedbacks, and we refined the sound tuning a little bit and also gave it detachable cables for the first time. So this was very important because there's a large market of third-party cables and all the wiring roundabout. Left it in the market for a couple of years, and then in 2021 we launched the T1 third generation. And so this is now looking quite different. You can see the history that there's a family, first, second, but third generation, quite dark in the finish, very good looking metal surfaces and so on. We also wanted to achieve one goal by means of sound quality. It should not sound like a typical headphone anymore, but instead it should sound like very large speakers, so a high-end speaker setup that normally you would not place in your small living rooms. Yeah, you need a very large room, but who can do that? Okay, so we said we want to transport the sound of very large high-end speakers into headphones, make them appearing like the sound is coming in front of you. And some of the users need to get a little time to get accustomed to it, to get used to it. But if you give it a little time, you will be really surprised by the sound field that the T1 third generation is creating. And maybe you've made the same experience if sound enters your ears directly from the side. It sometimes appears a little bit sharp with very high treble. Yeah. But if the sound comes much more in front of you, the treble is a little bit lower. It's not recessed, it's just a little bit lower, and you perceive that as natural. It is sound coming from front of you. And this is also the difference if you compare third generation with the second generation. The treble is a little bit lower, just to give you the feeling, okay, the sound doesn't come from the side anymore, it comes from the front. Because I will take the chance to say a few words about impedance. Okay. And that you can easily drive the T1 third generation just with this small adapter directly out of the iPhone. And so I will hand it to you, yeah, and then you can try to listen to the T1.
また僕たちイヤホンヘッドホン専門店イヤホンの感覚では T1 といったら据え置きのアンプにつなげるものといった先入観がありました。
What would you say, like in the
stationary amplifiers? Yeah,
yes,
I see.
Yeah, that's the image.
Yes. So this is, of course, one application. I think it's the major application. Well, and back to history, beginning at the 1940s, 1950s, when starting with headphones, all these headphones were high impedance headphones, coming from the telephone lines, telephone wiring, because the telephone engineers want to hook up into a telephone line to make quality controls. And they needed high impedance headphones not to disturb the phone calls. And so there comes the high impedance from. And then there were some kind of tube headphone amplifiers developed, so-called OTL amplifiers, output transformerless, so without a transformer in the output, and they still need high impedance headphones. But this is a niche within the niche, so very few of amps. And through the years, more and more high-end portable players were getting into the market. So nowadays you can spend 3, 4, 5,000 euros for a high-end mobile player. But all the mobile devices are working with the internal battery. And batteries normally have less voltage, but can supply high current. So, but in order to supply high current, they need low impedance headphones. Otherwise, it is low voltage and low current, no energy. So very quiet. And this was the major reason for us to give the third generation an impedance of 32 ohms, because in the meantime, we have refined all the tuning of the drivers. So it's not high-end sound, is not a specialty of high impedance anymore, but we managed it to give it a low impedance with the same sound character, the same sound signature and precision of sound. And now you have your set of large speakers you can carry around with you. So it's mobile right now. And maybe you can try by yourself, even with that small kind of adapter. Yeah, you can reach very, very good sound. Of course, not comparable to the high-end players out of the iPhone, but very similar to that. And I would say just try by yourself.
はい、非常に貴重なお話聞けたんじゃないかなというふうに思います。T1 やっぱりその昔のイメージで据え置きにつけるものっていうふうに思ってる皆さん実は多いんじゃないですか。今の T1 っていうのはモバイルでも楽しく聴けるっていう風なお話をいただきました。ぜひモバイル環境でもこの T1 を楽しんでみましょう。beyerdynamicのプロダクトマネージャーグンターさんからおすすめのヘッドホンのご紹介です。
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Konnichiwa. Yeah, my name is Gunther, product manager, like he said, at beyerdynamic. And if you would like to ask me, what is your favorite Bluetooth headphone? For sure, that's Amiron Wireless Copper. It looks so beautiful with the massive copper rings here and all the copper colored details here, and even the serial numbers in copper color. So it's, yeah, very, very beautiful details in the design of this kind of headphone. But inside, there are Tesla technology drivers with a very high efficiency. So all the amplifiers that are built in can work at very convenient conditions to drive and can easily drive these Tesla technology drivers here. And the sound that comes out of this headphone, it's gorgeous, really. I didn't expect that such kind of sound would come out of my television at home, or out of my players, or any kind of Bluetooth sources. We are working with special aptX and aptX HD and also aptX low latency codecs inside, so we can cover the whole range. It is high quality, like CD quality, or it's low latency, like 40 milliseconds of latency only, so that is very good lip sync when watching movies. All of this within headphones. And then you can also control these headphones by our MRY app. And you can even do a sound personalization. So that means the app is playing different frequencies to your ears, a little bit masked with some kind of noise, so that we will see how quiet can be the most silent tones that your ears can hear. Okay, and how are we doing that? Within the app, you're pressing a button as long as you hear the tone. And the tone is fading, the volume is getting lower, 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 and you press the button as long as you can hear the tone. If you not hear it anymore, you release the button. And then comes the next tone. Louder, and it's getting more silent, silent, silent. And as long as you hear it, you press the button and then you release it. And so for certain frequencies, we are determining your lower hearing threshold. That means the most silent tones your ear can ever hear. And that kind of information is calculated and it's sent up into the headphones and stored within the headphones. So and then you can control via the app if you want to listen to your music with your sound personalization. And that means if you activate the sound personalization, if the music is getting quiet, all the quietest tones are lifted up to your lowest hearing threshold so that you won't miss any details. And if the music is loud, then nothing is done. So no correction or so. It's just loud music is flat in the frequency response and very quiet music is adapted to your ability of your hearing, to your lowest hearing threshold. Yeah. And due to the fact that everything is stored within the headphones, you do just the personalization just once. Yeah. And then everything is kept here and you can use it with any kind of Bluetooth source, like MP3 player, high-end players, television, and so on and so on. The laptop, notebook, tablet, smartphone. So everything is within here. No, not when it's wired, because when it's wired, then it's completely passive. Yeah, and the cable runs directly to the driver without any kind of electronics in between, directly to the drivers. Okay. Another big point is that all the built-in electronics, like DAC and amplification, has an entirely flat frequency response. That means we are not doing any kind of sound tuning because what we are tuning here in Heilbronn is we are tuning the drivers and the acoustics, but the electronics run completely flat. And so I have seen by myself in our R&D department in the acoustic measurement of frequency response, if you compare wired operation with wireless Bluetooth operation, the frequency response is exactly the same, up to a little bit more than 20 kilohertz, exactly the same curve. So we are not doing any tricks inside, it's just the perfectly tuned acoustics of the drivers within the headphone. And everything is controlled here by touchpad, and it's very intuitive to use it. It is swipe up, it's volume up, yeah, swipe down, volume down, swipe front, it is next track, swipe back, it's previous track or beginning of the track, or double tap. You can even do calls, phone calls with it, or maybe calls via Teams or Zoom or whatever. So you are absolutely flexible to use it, not only at home for your musical enjoyment, but also when doing work and yeah, having calls. So back to the initial question, if you ask me what is my favorite Bluetooth headphone, of course it's Amiron Wireless Copper.
ぜひね、聞いて。もうでも今ので締めでもいいかなっていう気もするけど、でも日本語喋っとった方がいいですか？
ああ、じゃあ日本語で締めましょうか。
はい。というわけで、グンタさんおすすめのワイヤレスヘッドホン、アミロンワイヤレス、ぜひ皆さんも聞いてみてください。ご視聴の際はイヤホンヘッドホンの専門店、イヤホンにお越しください。今日はありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
Yeah, ありがとうございます。Bye bye.